Hello, did you know today is
Slop.
Yep, welcome back to iSorrow, the channel where we do all the slopping. And remember guys, you need to hit the subscribe button on this channel because look, I gotta hit 100k subscribers because when I do, they'll let me out of prison. Yeah, I went on the workshop, looked at a whole bunch of mods, just some random stuff that I didn't think would be that important or funny to make a full video on, but on the slop channel, well, it's kind of in the name. I feel like you can already see I may have gone too far today. There he is. Funnily enough, that isn't even the mod we want to look at. Yeah, we're actually playing Sporticus Iceland. All right, now we've weeded out the normies. Let's get right into the actual mod we're playing. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Last Stand of Freedom, Freedom's Last Stand or something. Basically, you're playing the US. You're kind of been left alone in the world as the Axis powers have gone a little wild. It's essentially just a US NSEG, and it is pretty fun from what I've seen so far. Now, the Germans do start off with a landing, a couple of them actually. They're down in Boston, they've got Nova Scotia and also Newfoundland over there, so that is not looking good for the Americans. The Italians are down in Florida, and we probably don't have to worry about them. I imagine the alligators have got that covered. And then the Japanese are on the west coast. It ain't looking too good for us America bros. And on top of that, it looks like we lost the fleet pretty badly. Obviously, I think the first thing we are going to do, considering we have written off the fleet completely at this point, is to just whack down a whole bunch of submarines. Okay, the army consists of a whole bunch of citizens militia and then a bit of a professional army, not much, and we're going to have to fight off the entire world for the most part with this, what we got. So I think we consolidate the army into these two big groups right here. We use all the militia to hold off the Italians and the Japanese and then try get the Germans out as soon as we can. They're just going to re-naval invade, I imagine, because I don't think they're going to be limited by the naval. Yep. They're definitely not limited by naval supremacy. Germans apparently stupid. They've given up the port in Boston, which means I'm going to hopefully push them out. We're going to hold up here. Then we're going to move down, take care of the Italians. Japan, on the other hand, we're just kind of going to say, you guys, you just, we'll get over there eventually. We've pushed Boston out. We have stabilized the front up here. I think we can even push them because the Germans have pulled out their units there. That's no problem. Don't talk to me about the West Coast. We don't even acknowledge that's part of our country. I'm also going to use what the hell's left of the fleet just to convoy raid around Florida now. If we can push them out, that will be great. Boy, the naval invasions are coming, and we don't really have the manpower to actually currently hold everything. We did manage to get the port back in this one at least. This one over here, I'm not actually too sure what's even happening. We've put the fleet out. It's raiding a whole bunch. We've also sank a bunch of their boats as well. So I'm going to go ahead, just have a little look, see if they've even got troops there. Comes a naval invasion. We might just have to consolidate and leave the south. But if we give up the south, it's not gonna go well because the west ain't looking great either. Trying that again because it did not go as well as I thought it would. Actually, I thought the first one would go pretty terribly, but this one I'm assuming will go better. I think again we're just gonna push them out of Boston. This time I'm just putting a small force over here just to hold and then occasionally hit the last stand button. Now we really need to push them out of Florida and get everything on garrison. Also spamming out just a whole bunch of units, as many as I can, to get some sort of garrison going, even if they're not fully equipped, while we hopefully push them out of Florida. Okay, that worked pretty well. We pushed them out of Florida. We're still holding on in the north there, still got to deal with that, and as you can see from my production, spamming out the garrisons is what really works. Yeah, I'm just going all in on getting as many troops out as we can just to cover the entire seaboard, which I've now done. I've also spammed out some units for the west because the west is definitely not looking good. That's the good thing, because as soon as I got in the game as well, I hit the Homeland Defense decision, which obviously you can't see now, which will put us straight onto war economy, and that really kickstarted the industry for me, just spamming out as many rifles as we could. In fact, we should go off free trade as well, just so that we get all of the steel we possibly can, just to now produce a gargantuan amount of rifles. So just going to move on over to Grand Battle Plan Doctrine here, just for the entrenchment, and we're going to keep on trucking, get this thing going as long as we can. The Navy as well, I put out to convoy raid, and it sacrificed itself valiantly in stopping a lot of the supply getting into Florida. Okay, now with the seaboard pretty much covered on the east, we should be fine. We've got to make sure we hold on in Nova Scotia, though, and also that our units are getting replenished, because currently we are in a deficit because I just spammed out as many as we could. But yeah, the big issue is definitely going to be the west, though. This is, this is looking pretty good. The garrisons are helping as much as they can. As soon as we get submarines and the better submarine tech too, at least Snorkel 1, we should be able to just absolutely sink all their convoys. Have to keep our eyes peeled, though, because even though I've got 2 separate garrisons here, just to kind of hope that they don't all run for the same stuff, sometimes if a landing happens, they will just leave a port, as well as that they are in 2 separate factions. Otherwise, the Japanese side right now would just be full of Germans, which would actually be the nail in the coffin. Hey, come on, Turkey, why you gotta do a bro like that? Really hoping with the power of Snorkel 2, this thing just absolutely destroys any more naval invasions, at least on the east. We can't do anything in the west right now because we got no damn range over there. And we have slowed them down, at least pushing a bit, but definitely not stopped them completely. Also going to work on some naval bombers as well, because their fleets are still knocking around constantly and actually doing damage to my submarines. Even though they are pretty late, they are not sinking them as much now, but they still can catch them occasionally. Okay, yep, naval bombers definitely having a lot of fun down here. Oh god, I just saw what they've got over there in the Bahamas. That is quite a lot of guys just hanging out, huh? It's definitely going to be a while before we burn through all their convoys, though, and I imagine they're also producing a lot more of them. So, but it will help eventually. They won't be able to keep up with production, or at least won't be able to break even, which is all the why the Japanese are out here, huh? Okay, next up, I think we definitely need to start figuring out the Japanese situation. We have stabilized it completely now, but pushing's gonna be a different question. Okay, I got docking rights in Mexico, which means I'm gonna go ahead rebase a whole bunch of my submarines over there and start harassing the Japanese getting into America. Yeah, I also got the event where Brazil would join my faction, and I got the one for Mexico too, but I accidentally clicked the Brazil one. I didn't accidentally make that mistake a second time with Mexico, because just like what happened to Brazil right there, I think a similar situation might go down with the Mexicans. So yeah, the numbers over here are just absolutely wacky on what I am sinking with these naval bombers. Okay, new submarine task force now on the west coast thanks to the Mexicans. Blew up the Panama Canal. I didn't even own it. Why'd you blow it up? Yeah, these submarines can go ahead and collapse the Japanese supply lines into North America. Rest in peace, Roosevelt. You stabilize the country. Hopefully Truman can finish it off here. Hopefully, if we could choke them out of their supply, we'll be able to push through a lot easier. So I reckon, give it a few more years, there might not actually be an Axis Navy left. Yeah, look at that. It's already working. The Japan supply is collapsing. Chile just did the same thing as well, which means they're gonna also have to join our faction, but that's fine. I don't have to worry about them too much. I don't know why, but they just keep bringing their navies right to this sea tile, and I keep sending them to the bottom of this sea tile. Come on, German sailors. Do you really want the last thing for you to see in your life to be Florida? It is actually insane how many boats I am just torpedoing into the damn gutter. I don't know how they are still coming, but they are. It moved us off of Grand Battle Plan now and moved on to Superior. I usually don't mind Grand Battle Plan too much, but we are going to go very hot and very heavy into the Japanese line. Ooh, Germans have actually lost supply in Nova Scotia now, so we're going to try push them out as well. You know what? Actually, I'm not going to push them out because I can just infinitely logi bomb them here and take out their trains and trucks, which I'm going to do. A lot of it will probably just be the railways, which I don't need to really worry about, but I also don't have to worry about them pushing here. Also, look at that. Ain't that just goddamn beautiful? That's the true meaning of slop right there. Bros, I'm actually starting to get yellow sea zones over here. I mean, the majority are still red on the coast, but that is the first time I've seen yellow sea zones in a long time. Crap, yeah, just look at the absolute state of what I've been destroying in terms of convoys. Oh, well, I've largely striked everything they have, which means this now needs to end. Okay, with that means that the only place now occupied on the east coast is New Finland, and we can't really do anything about that just yet, but it's not anything we really need to worry about. They can't get any crossings, and I'm assuming everything there is probably not that important. Really funny seeing all of the, you know, famous American admirals throughout World War II just reserved for sub-spam. Holy crap. Okay, that was a absolutely huge battle right there. I mean, I say huge battle. It was just naval bombers, but damn. Oh, wait, there's more. There's loads more. Oh boy. Now it's time for us to beat the Japanese back. Realize I still have the intervention mandate from the Monroe Doctrine. I just demanded stuff off Italy, and they gave it me. I shouldn't have done that. If I actually knew that was going to work, I would have got some damn troops over there. But hold on, there's probably something we could do here. I yoinked some of my troops off the garrison, which I hope doesn't come back to bite me. And I got them down in time. Yeah, thankfully, none of them have, like, any supply. So hopefully we can liberate Brazil here. And we are pushed all the way down into Argentina, who also are in my faction. I did have a small glitch that kept crashing my game in Brazil. Every time I pushed them out of the state, it kept glitching and crashing my game. So I annexed Brazil into me and then re-release them, and it seems fine now. But just in case you do the same thing I end up doing, that fixed it for me. And we've also finally pushed the Japanese out of Alaska. It was a bit slow because I had to build up supply the whole way over here, so now we just have a whole bunch of supply hubs and ports I had to build. Kind of hoping I don't have to worry about garrisoning any of this. I haven't seen any Japanese naval invasion, so I think we'll be fine, but this is going well. I reckon also we don't need any more submarines at this point. I'll keep one line going, but I think it is time we brought the fleet back to life. Okay, and with that, we have pushed them off the mainland everywhere now but the Panama Canal, which doesn't even matter. They blew it up themselves. You're still wondering, by the way. Yep, still blowing up ships every single day off the coast of Florida. I don't know what they got left at this point, but somehow they still got plenty. Yeah, at this point, 44,000 convoys into this. Maybe it ain't worth making them anymore, Germany. Now, this might be a bit of a shot in the dark, but we are attempting a naval invasion of the UK. It probably would have been safer to go straight into Ireland. They only got like 13 divisions, but I think the UK could be possible. Now, if anything, the defensive was the hardest part about this, but don't think the offensive part ain't going to be difficult too, because how many units the Germans have? Up to 650 apparently. And even with their convoy situation, yeah, they're not looking great from where they started. Imagine a majority of those German troops are sitting right here in Europe. Okay, I had to pull out of the UK. As soon as I landed, they just got absolutely swarmed, my units did. So I instead relaunched, got Ireland, no problem. I could quickly get them, and now we're preparing to go back in. Also, if you want to look at like the casualties and stuff, here you go. I'm up to 2.7 million. A lot of that was just from the beginning of the game, but I've inflicted quite a bit, mostly on the Japanese, funnily enough, but that is where we have majorly actually done the land battle so far. I thought my submarines would be enough to keep them at bay while I actually got into the UK, but no, they got over all right very quickly. Next time, we ain't taking no chances. All right, my brand new fleet is also over here, and it has already been hard at work sinking loads of boats. We just got the turpits right there. And finally, I'm starting to see the German fleet disappear. All right, I was waiting for the right moment to do this, but I've also finally done hemisphere defense, which has invited all of America's to my faction, and you can see a lot of them did join, which means finally I have the damn Panama back in my control. Well, kind of. Still got to spend 400 political power and a whole bunch of civilians to now repair it. Okay, the naval invasion is ready. I think I should probably do a precautionary save here, though. We are definitely looking good, but we do need to secure all those ports as quickly as we can. My god, I just saw 108 German divisions on the coast right. Oh, okay, yeah, I see what's happening. You know, why not? I guess while we're here, might as well drop one of these bad boys. Okay, here comes one heck of a D-Day. I wish the Germans had that giant stack of units again, because I would have dropped a nuke on them. I just completely forgot that I even had them for a while. I kind of wish I had some tanks, but I only just got around to actually building them, and I think by the time we get anywhere here, it won't matter. Oh my god, I have have activated the horde. Here they come. Really, really glad they put them in 2 separate factions, because we'd also have all of Asia running over here if they were. Ain't no way they could just capitulate that easy. Okay, nice. I also got my second army that will be holding the Spanish front. Didn't think they'd capitulate that quick though, so they're only just on their way. My god, that is a lot of crap being slung at me right now. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in Hoi 4 before. Okay, I desperately gotta get air supremacy somewhere, enough that I'll be able to just nuke a front line. This ain't even gonna do too much. I mean, it's gonna help a little, and we just need to hold on until I've obliterated all the air around, and then as soon as that happens, we can just nuke them all freely, willy-nilly, no problem. Okay, casualty update. Pretty much everybody in the world didn't make it. We have, though, entered Berlin. Oh, there goes the Germans, just as they, funnily enough, were annoyingly walking through the impassable land in Switzerland. Of course, this doesn't mean we are anywhere near done. We still need to capitulate Italy, Spain, and apparently Finland. We're going to start Operation Goodbye Spaghetti and get rid of all of Italy's war support. And there it goes. Okay, we're pretty much at the end of the Axis part of this, and just look at the damn casualties and all of this. It is insane. I just realized actually Peru's in on this, but yeah, I think my allies are taking care of that one for me. It's pretty funny how we're old world versus new world. Cringe versus Keck. Oh, I never thought this day would come. I guarantee this is going to crash after, isn't it? And I would go about making a pretty little pig still here, but I'm not too sure the game's going to be able to handle it, so I'm just going to take everything and then I'll release everyone after. It's pretty funny looking what the Germans were left with of their navy there. We got the HMS Royal Oak. Okay, there you go. I rehosted per player tool set thing on, and also the hotkey mod, and I have fixed the world post-peace conference. Yeah, I feel like I deserved at least something after spending how many hours trying to win this? So there you go. Other than like a few guys that never joined my faction over here, we are back on the map. Oh, not too sure why my German puppet just annexed France though. There you go, hopefully they don't do that again. Alright, we've pushed all the way through Asia. Our goon squad has come with us. I've just seen puppet troops everywhere, and it's time to finally end this. Thankfully, we only need to take down Japan, and that's it. Also, Japan... Okay, there you go. We are so done. Now that took a lot of work, all the way till 1956 to free the world. In a way, everyone's technically now my puppet. Are they really free? Not really. But anyway, that was a lot of fun. I think one of my favorite mods is definitely like a good NC scenario, I gotta say. But yeah, that's enough slop for today. In fact, this hardly was a slop. It was almost a full-blown, too much effort put into this, I can tell you that much. But yeah, anyway, mod down below. You can check it out. Goodbye, slop.